Hello, welcome to the playthrough video for Tin Helm. Here we have ourselves the nice neoprene Tin Helm game mat. That'll be part of the crowd sale and the game itself. So let's dive right in. We'll get all of our contents dumped out. Put that off to the side. Make a little bit of a mess here. This way you can kind of see how setup works. Put all these little guys off to the side. First thing we have to do is decide what character we're going to want to be. I think we shall go with the crawling. That'll be our race. And on the back side of each one of these race cards are the available classes that we can pick from. So for this video, I think I will go with the Parson. Sort of a cleric type healer. I'll put those other cards back away. I'm not going to need the tracking cards because we have those built into this gaming mat. These reference cards we'll just place over here where it says reference, so if we need to answer a question we can quickly look at those. Interesting little side note on these on the back side, because I didn't want to leave the back blank and I didn't want to just leave it a copy of the front side. I decided to make a nice little puzzle on the back, so if you get all your tracker cards and flip them over, you get to make a little monster, little dungeon scene. So we'll put those away because we don't need those as well. Let me get my timer going here. Okay. So what else do we got? Our actual dungeon cards, the meat and potatoes. We'll shuffle those in a second. I'll put those there. Here's our enemy cards. We got a nice little spot for those. Here's all of the loot that we could potentially find. I'll put those here. And then our character, the Parson, we'll go over this real quickly in a minute, but he does start with the mace and a scroll. So I shall look for both of those. I have 2 spots for trappings because all characters start with 2 trappings, and I have room for some loot cards. Of course, if you get more than 4, you could just place them off to the side, but typically you're going to find 2 or 3 loot cards throughout the course of the game. So let's take a look at our crawling character, the crawling. He's a bird guy. He starts with 8 health, 8 energy, and 0 food. His special ability is once per dungeon level while in combat, the crawling may flip a single die to the reverse side when determining damage. So hopefully, if you're watching this video, you watched the tutorial video, so you should have kind of an understanding of how combat works and what that would mean in regards to that. The Parson, he's a pretty decent in combat. He also gets another 4 to his health and 3 to his max energy. And we already discussed the 2 items that he gets because of he's the Parson. So let's look at what those 2 items do. So as you can see, the 12 different potential characters are going to have a wide variety of powers. So you're going to be combining the power from your actual race with the trappings that come with the particular class, plus different health and energy and food, and it really makes for each game. It makes each game feel quite different. So the mace, when in combat against an undead enemy, you inflict an additional 1 damage on successful hits. So we have to make sure we're paying attention to that. And you can tell if an enemy is a undead because it has a little skull icon down here. So that'll be nice. The scroll, when encountering an undead enemy, you may discard this card to vanquish them. So I could just discard this card to get rid of any undead enemy. You gain no favor when defeating an enemy in this manner, so I won't gain the favor. So if I fought this wraith, I could just get rid of him and not take any damage or anything, but I would not gain the 2 favor from fighting him. So let's take a look at these. And we'll just shuffle these up a little bit, doesn't really matter. Okay, so object of the game is we're trying to get these shards. So we'll place these over here as a little treasure pile. We need to get 3 of them. There's 5 different ways to get them. If you watch the tutorial, you will understand the different routes to do that. So let's get our trackers all set up where you're going to start on level 1. So I'll put my little meeple there. My starting health is going to be 8 plus 4 is 12, and that's also my max health. So I can never exceed my starting health. Favor, I have 0 favor. So where's my favor tracker? I'll put this in the wrong spot. Perfect. Health goes here. Favor, I don't have any yet, so I'll just place it right here for now. Energy, I start with 8 plus 3 is 12. I'm sorry, 8 plus 3 is 11, so that's not too terrible. And I have 0 food, so I'm gonna probably want to make a little bit of an effort to get some food. And then I'll just put this little tracker cube for enemies over here in the skull pile. Got my dice, I'm ready to go. So that was set up, we're ready to go. We have an idea what our character is. The crawling is pretty good in combat because of that. He gets to manipulate the dice once per dungeon level. And the parson allows me to be a little bit better against the undead. And as you can see, there's going to be quite a few undead types of creatures in this game. So let's see what happens. So let's just shuffle this deck. Let's see how far we can get. See if we can actually secure 3 shards. Not an easy task in this game. Likely, we are going to die. Hopefully that sounds entertaining to you. Okay, so we start with the possibility of going into the sewers. The sewers have a trap, a campsite, and access to water. Don't really need to heal right now. Water would give me a chance to get some food, but I would have to deal with the trap first because we always deal with these icons from left to right. So do I want to deal with this right off the bat? Actually, I think I'm going to. Hold on one moment. So let's move him over here. Maybe this would be a better spot to start with the deck. And I am going to resolve the sewer. So when we resolve the top card, we place it off to the side and we take the next card in the deck and we flip it over. Okay, so the trap is not a great trap because it does 2 damage to my health. I have no way of negating that. There are characters that have the toolkit that will allow you to just attempt to disarm the trap. So I'm going to lose 2 health right off the bat. Not the end of the world because there is a campsite. What does the campsite allow me to do? Well, if we go to our little handy dandy reference cards, the campsite, you may rest at the campsite gaining 2 health and 1 energy, or you may search for provisions gaining 1 food. I don't know what the best move here is because I do have the water icon to resolve, which I could potentially find food that way, but there's only a 33% chance of that happening. And I did lose 2 health, so resting would get me back to my full health, but I can't gain any more energy. Interesting. What shall we do? What shall we do? I'm going to take a chance that I find food here. So I'm going to rest. I'm going to gain my 2 health. I cannot gain any more energy. I'm already maxed out at 11. And that's it. I can't get the food. I only have to get to pick one of those. So let's just put these reference cards back where they belong, out of the way. We'll refer to them when we need to. Okay. Let's see here. Next on the item, on the thing here to do is water. So we can resolve to see if we find any food. So I will roll a single dice. If I get a 5 or a 6, I find a fish. And I found a fish, so that paid off for me. So now I do have 1 food. I can always spend food at any point to gain 1 health or 1 energy, but it's not a really good trade. But there'll be instances where you're going to want to do that, or you're going to have to do that. Okay, so first room is done. Start a little discard for this dungeon. Okay, now we are into the Catacombs. Do I want to go into the Catacombs? There is an enemy there, but there is also a random encounter. I'm going to take a chance to avoid a combat, and I'm going to skip the Catacombs this time. I'm going to skip the first card, so I will flip this over, and then I will move this over, so I have to deal with the kitchen now. There's an enemy here as well, and it is a skelepede. which is the top card in this deck. The Skelipede has a special ability. They do not miss. The wording on this is changed, but it basically says that if they roll doubles, they get to re-roll. Let's figure out how much health we got here for the Skelipede. Skelipede has 3 base plus the dungeon level. You always add the dungeon level to your enemy's health. So he has 4. He does 0 extra damage. He does have 1 defense, and he'll give me 1 favor. He is an undead creature, which means I will do extra damage to him. I am definitely only going to spend 1 energy, because if I spend 1 energy, I will do 3 damage. And if I hit, I'm already doing 1 damage, plus my mace does a damage, so that will bypass or offset his armor. So how do we do combat? Roll 2 dice. I always attack first unless otherwise specified. And I rolled a 6 and a 4. So how combat works is I subtract these 2 numbers from each other, and that gives me 2, plus whatever amount of energy. I didn't spend my energy. See, I'm already doing a terrible job here. So you need to declare how much energy you're spending, just like in Desolate and Iron Helm. So in this case, I spent 1, I said it. So that's 2, plus the mace because he is undead. So that's 3, plus the 3 damage that I'm doing because of the amount of effort that I'm putting into this attack is 6. So 6 minus 1 armor is 5, and he only has 4 health. So I killed him in the first shot, perfect. I gain 1 favor. So now I'm on the charts here for favor. Next, I am in a campsite. What am I going to do here? This is actually a fairly easy one, because if you recall, the campsite can gain 2 health and 1 energy, or you can gain a food. Well, I'm already at max health. I did use 1 energy, but I'm actually better off just taking the food, because as I said, I can spend that food as an energy or a health. So it becomes a little bit more of a diverse thing to have is food, because you can spend it different ways. Plus you don't want to run out of food. So, did we finish that? Yes, that we did. So now we are done here. We're moving on to next. Let's see what happens here. We have the statue, a trap and a treasure chest. I like treasure chests, and I'm willing to take a chance on the trap not being too deadly. I'm at almost full stats. So let's resolve the statue. Hopefully we get something good. Okay, so I'm going to take 0 damage from the trap. It's a lousy old rusty trap. It didn't trigger. Something in my favor occurred, which I'll take. And the chest has a symbol in it. Symbol is a fantastic item. There it is. Now I have a symbol. When at the altar, you may gain the reward 1 level higher than what your favor would otherwise indicate. That can be very helpful for just getting more energy and health when I find the altar, but also it can be very good for getting the shard using the altar. So that was a really good move. So far, so good. Got in 1 fight, found a nice little item. Okay, do we want to get in a fight here at the chasm, or do we want to push our luck here and keep trying to attempt to avoid monsters? That's a really good question. I am going to avoid this one, because I'm just going to take the chance there's not another monster on the other side here, and there isn't. So that's good. We have a corridor to deal with. Oh, and that is nasty. The corridor does 2 damage to energy. Oof. That's a nasty trap. So I lose 2 energy there, and I have to fight a monster. So the random encounter wasn't anything good here. The random encounter is a monster. I got to fight another Skelipede. This is not great. Okay, so again, I'm going to spend 1 energy, so I'm down to 7. My energy is already starting to not be so great. Let's see here. And let's roll some dice and see how much damage I do. Oh, that's a strong hit. 6 minus 4. 6 minus 2 equals 4, plus 1 is 5, plus the 3, because I spent 1 energy, is 8. Again, he only has 1 defense, so I did 7 damage, and I still have my tracker set at 4 from before. That's how much health he has. So he is defeated. I gain 1 more favor. So hopefully I get a decent amount of favor and find that altar and get a shard that way. Okay, let's see what else is here. So that was it. That's my my random encounter was a monster. That's never good. That's never good. I would have liked to have gotten something nice there. Okay, Waterfall. This is a tough one. Because this is a good card, but I know from having played the game that there's, I believe, a pretty good item on the backside of this Waterfall. If I happen to get a chest on the next card, should I take a chance? Well, this is a tutorial. I'm not a tutorial, this is a playthrough video, and I'd like you guys to see what happens when you're risky. So I'm going to be risky right now, and I am going to definitely skip it. I'm skipping it. And what did I get? Not great. Very bad. If I would have gotten a chest on this card, I would have triggered, I would have got a sword. If I would have got a random encounter, I would have found the altar, and the altar would have been good. As it plays out, I get the worst possible card, the Sanctum, which gives me a trap and a monster. Not great. So in this case, the trap triggers first, doing 1 damage to my health. Now I have to fight a Doom Skull. And Doom Skulls are nasty because Doom Skulls always attack first. So let's see what he does to me. I don't even get a chance to defend. Now he is undead, so this is an opportunity for me to use the scroll. Should I save it? You know what? I'm going to let him attack me. I'm going to save the scroll for later on, something terrible, when I have less health. Hopefully he misses me. Oh, that's not too terrible. So he does 1 damage. He doesn't get any bonus. So I have no way of defending. I have no shield or anything. So I'm going to lose 1 health. I can deal with that. Now I need to attack him. He has 4 plus a dungeon level. So he has 5 health. A little tougher than this Skelipede. What are we going to do here? What are we going to do? How much energy do I want to spend? 5 will certainly annihilate him. He is undead, and he has no defense, so he is fairly easy to beat. So I am going to spend 1 energy. Hopefully I hit, and I do. I do 3 plus the 1 because he's undead is 4, and then plus 3 is 7. He has no defense. He is eliminated. I gain 1 favor. So not the worst room. I did lose 2 energy there, so that wasn't very good. Ugly. Okay. Got just the last room already? Okay, what do we want to do here? Quarters? I am going to, for sure, do this card, because I want to get a chest. So let's see what's behind this card. So we're gonna do the quarters. We got the stash. So flip the stash over. Oh, this is gonna be good. I get to fight dark rats, but the treasure chest in this room is a shard. So I'm gonna get my first shard. Let's begin combat. Okay, so let's fight these dark rats. I'm going to spend 1 energy, down to 5, so that's not great. I'm going to get to add. Let's find those dark rats first. Okay, dark rats are the weakest enemy in the game, with 2 health plus the dungeon level is 3. Very easy to defeat. I will have to spend that 1 energy to do so. And I just barely got a hit in there. So I did 1 damage. I don't get to add the bonus of my mace because he is not undead, but I get to add 3. So I do 1 plus 3 is 4. They have no defense, so he is defeated. I gain 1 favor. Dark rats. When you defeat a dark rat, you gain 1 food. Yummy. So I get 1 more food. That's very helpful. And that takes care of the enemy. I get to go to the treasure chest, which is a shard. So I've gotten my first shard, and it's one of the more difficult ways of getting it, and that is by finding the 1 chest that happens to have it. So I will put that on my character, indicating that he has found a shard, and that ends the first level of the dungeon. So we take our dungeon deck, I'll give it a nice little shuffle. We don't want all the same cards to be next to the same cards because that'll make each dungeon level quite a bit different. So we'll start there in the Waterfall. We need to move our dungeon level, our character to level 2 of the dungeon. I need to feed my very hungry character 1 food. If I didn't have any food to feed him, I would lose 3 health. So there is the possibility of dying of starvation. So I've got 1 shard. I need 3. I'm on level 2 of the dungeon. I'm pretty excited about this. Okay, should we do this first card? Maybe we should. Maybe we should. But I think last time we did this, we saw that on the back side of the Waterfall is the altar. Yeah, the altar would be good right now, but not necessarily the best. I am going to resolve the Waterfall. So let's move our deck over. I'm going to do the Waterfall. So now we have the corridor. We're going to flip that over. And the random encounter is a grove. Very nice. So what happens in the grove? Well, I know, but you probably don't know. So in the grove, you may search the grove for mushrooms. Each mushroom found equals 1 food. Roll a die and see how many you find. Certain characters will do better here than others, but let's see how many I find. So I roll 1 dice. 3. 3 indicates I find a mushroom, so I gain another food. So that was a really nice way to start the dungeon. Found a food in the mushroom grove, and now I get a chance to find more food. So food is really going to be play a part here. I might be able to convert some of that food into energy at some point here if I get in a couple of nasty fights. Oh, I didn't get any food that time. Needed a 5 or a 6. So room 1 of dungeon level 2 is complete. Now we see over at the chasm enemy. Should I fight this guy? Haven't seen any enemies yet. Other enemy cards. There's 6 cards that have an enemy icon on it, just so you know, out of the 12. We haven't seen any yet, so the likelihood is the next card is going to have an enemy on it anyways. And since that's the case, there might be something good attached along with that enemy. Maybe a camp or a treasure chest would be fantastic. So I'm going to skip this card. Oh, that was a pretty good move. I found the clearing. No enemy there. There is an enemy. There's a freaking Skelepede, the random encounter. So that's not great. Just for fun, let's see if we would have done it the other way. So let's flip this the other way, see what would have happened. I would have had to fight a Skelepede anyways. That is funny. So I'm going to have to fight a Skelepede. But at least in this scenario, I get to camp in this clearing afterwards. So let's find that Skelepede again. Definitely not going to waste my scroll on him. He's one of the weaker of these characters. But he's going to have 5 health this time because he has 3 plus the dungeon level, which is level 2 now, so he has 5 health. So as you can see, enemies are going to get more difficult the deeper we go. Okay, so how much energy do I want to waste on this guy? He's got 5 health. He does have defense, so I'm going to have to do 6 damage to kill him. Oof. I do get 1 for the mace. I'll do 1 for at least 1 if I hit, so that's 2. I'm going to have to spend 2 energy on this guy. That's how much tougher they get as you get down in this dungeon. You get level 3 or 4, you're in real trouble. Okay, so I spent 2 energy. Let's roll my dice. Please don't get doubles. Oh, that was a 2. It went off the table. Okay, so I hit for 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. Plus the mace is 9. He is for sure dead. He gains me a favor, which is great, because I have this symbol, which means I find that I get to if I get to 8 or 7 or 8, and I find that altar, I'm gonna be able to get a reward higher, which means I could get the shard that via that route, which would be fantastic. So Skelepede is dead, and now we are going to rest at the campsite. Is that what I want to do? I don't need any more food. I could definitely rest. So resting right now will give me 2 health and 1 energy. So that helps me a little bit. I still have my 3 food. So far, not too bad. I didn't necessarily want to get in fights, but you have to fight. That's a dungeon crawler. Can't get around it. So here comes the tricky part. Now this is where the mechanics of this game really make you pressure luck. This is the stash. It is a chest. So if I choose to resolve the stash, I'm going to get a treasure. Well, I mean, it could be something. It could be empty, or it could be a mimic, but likely I'm going to get an item. However, the stash is the one location that has, this is what we got last time, how I got my other shard. I know that the treasure chest on the other side of the stash card is the shard. So do I take the risk of skipping the stash, a known, probably a good item or something helpful, for the chance of getting another shard? Well, I am going to go for the long game here, and I know some of you are probably upset, but I'm going to resolve the stash, and we'll see what happens if I would have done it the other way. But I could use another item right now. A potion would be great. Okay, yeah, I'm going to, if there's a treasure chest on this next card, I'm going to be really upset, but I'm going to resolve the stash. I made the smart choice here, I think. Okay, so I find the gill net. Gill net is good. I'll take the gill net. That's excellent. Had I gone the other way, it's kind of fun to see what happens if you went the other way. If I would have gone in the sewers, I would have taken 0 damage and been able to camp, and I wouldn't have been able to search for food. So that would have been a pretty good alternative route. But I definitely wouldn't have gotten the shard, which would have been awesome. Oh, this card also has the pigman. Interesting. Okay, so gill net. Let's find that gill net. Gill net's going to help me when I find water icons. Instead of rolling 1 time to find food, I get to roll 3 times. And every time I'm successful, I gain a food for that. So I can potentially get 3 food every time I resolve a card with the water icon. So that's it. Stash is done. On to the next card. We're into the quarters. If I want to go there, another chest. See, these chests really get me excited. I have to fight something, but I'll get something in a chest. I'd like to get a turnip. It'd be nice to win the game by getting a turnip. You're all like, what are you talking about? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna for sure resolve the quarters. Let's flip the next card over, see what we get. Ooh, not too bad, but really bad at the same time. This could be really bad. Okay, so I have to fight the possessor, which is the one enemy that will give me a shard. So I'm going to get a shard here, but I have to fight him. He's the strongest monster in the game. But since I'm resolving the quarters, which also gives me a chest, because I was very excited about the chest, I also have to fight a mimic right after I fight the possessor. So this could be potentially not so great. So let's find that jerk. His name is the possessor. He has a lot of health. He has 6 health, plus the dungeon level is 8. Very tough guy to beat. He gets +1 damage. He has 1 armor, and you gain a shard if you defeat him. Okay, I need a sip of something right now. Oh boy. Okay. We want to kill him. He has a lot of health. He has defense. He's not undead. I'm going to spend, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat 2 food, because you can eat food whenever you want. And I'm going to gain 2 energy. So that'll give me some energy. I need energy. Health's already maxed out. Then I am going to spend 3 energy. I'm going to go for my hardest hit that I possibly can. 1, 2, 3. So I'm down to 3 energy. Not very good. But I'm going to get a shard here if I hit. If I roll doubles right now, it'll be not great. It'll be really bad. Oh my gosh. I rolled doubles. Oh my gosh, this might be a very short playthrough, but at least you will have seen a lot of action. So that means I miss. That means the 7 points gone. The 3 energy I spent wasted. I went for a huge death blow to the possessor, and I whiffed. And now he gets to attack me. He gets to add 1 to his attack. Hopefully he rolls doubles as well. Oh, he does! He rolls doubles, so he misses. So we're just whiffing at each other. I can deal with this. However, I don't have very much energy left. And I have to fight the mimic after him. So this is where things get real tricky. I'm just going to eat my last food, get my energy back up. I'm going to be hoping that I find food or something, or a way to beat this mimic. Okay, so here we go. I'm attacking again. I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 energy. I have 1 energy left. Roll 2 dice. Oh man, I need a good roll here too. 1 and a 3. That's 2 damage. 2 damage plus 7 is 9. Minus 1 because of his shield is 8. He has 8 health. I just barely beat him. That was kind of scary. He is dead. I gain my 2nd shard. I need 1 more shard and the game's over and I win. That's going to be a very difficult shard to get because I have very, very little energy. My health's full, but I'm low on energy. Okay. So now we have to resolve this treasure card, which is also not great because it is a mimic. Let's find that mimic. Of course, he's at the bottom. Here he is. He's not too terrible of an enemy to defeat. He just sucks to find because you're in this scenario. Obviously, I want something good from a treasure chest, not this. So let's add the dungeon level to 4. That gives him a health of 6. So still not that easy to defeat. He does have 1 attack and 1 defense. His favor that he gives me, I forgot to give myself my 2 favor. Possessors give 2 favor. He also gives me favor equal to the dungeon level that I am on currently. So I'm on level 2, so he'll give me 2. So you fight a mimic lower in the dungeon, you get a ton of favor from them. So anyways, let's fight this guy. I get to attack first. I'm obviously going to spend the 1 energy I have. I'm going to have to roll extremely well to defeat him in 1 hit. I don't think it's going to happen. And I rolled a 3 and a 6, so that's 3 damage there, plus 3 damage here is 6, minus 1 is 5, so he's down to 1 health. I'll take it. He still gets a chance to hit me, so here he goes. Let's hope he rolls doubles too. Oh, he does hit me for 1 damage. I can't defend it. That's fine. Could have been a lot worse. Could have rolled a 6 and a 1 or something. Anyways, I don't have any energy. So what happens in this game? Just like in Desolate and just like in Iron Helm, you may punch them with your bare hands. You're out of energy. You can always do 1 damage and it doesn't cost you anything. And that 1 damage can't be defended. So even though he has 1 defense, I can still always do 1 damage on my turn. So he is dead. So I beat the mimic, which is going to give me 2 more favor. So I'm really good on favor. If I find an altar, I can win the game. But I have 0 energy and 0 food. And I'm halfway through this dungeon. This is tough. I have to avoid all combat. Combat has to be avoided at all costs at this point, or I'm probably going to lose. Even though I have 11 health, that 11 health goes really quickly when you're only hitting for 1 damage each turn. Hopefully, if I fight something undead, I might have to use a scroll. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Okay, what do we want to do here? Do we want to fight? No, we don't want to fight. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to skip the old well, and I get to fight something anyways. That is great, and I think this could potentially be the end of me. I have a Watcher. He is not undead. The Watcher is just a jerk. He's not undead. Oh boy, guys. This is not good. Okay. Let's see here. He has 4. Plus the dungeon level is 6 health. He does 1 damage extra. He has 1 defense. He gives me 2 energy, but you lose 1 energy before combat begins when fighting a Watcher. I don't have any energy, so actually it's the one time that doesn't affect me. And I get to attack first. I can only do 1 damage, so I'm going to do 1 damage. Am I going to be able to withstand this many rounds? And did you guys happen to notice what my random encounter is? I have to get in another fight. This is not good. This is not good. So close to 1 more shard. Can we survive? He does 2 damage. 1, 2. I'm going to do 1 damage to him. And then he's going to attack me again. He's going to do only 1 damage. Then I do 1 damage. Then he's going to attack me again. He's going to do 2 damage. And, oh, that's not his life. This is my life. Then I do 1 damage to him. I'm not liking this. A double. I'll take a double from him. That means he does no damage. Then I do 1 to him. He attacks me again. Oh, that's painful. 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm down to 3 health, and then I finally defeat him. I get 2 more favor. I got tons of favor. Oh man, not great. Now I have to fight dark rats. Luckily they're the weakest enemy, but they still have 4 health. Because they have 2 plus the dungeon level. So I'm gonna have to withstand 4 rounds and not lose 3 health. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to get super lucky here. Better cross your fingers at home. Okay, so I get to attack first, so that's the one good thing. So I get to do that. So now you only have to actually survive 3 attacks from him. Oh, he rolls doubles. That is super helpful. I do 1 to him. If I survive this and somehow win, oh my gosh. Deep breaths. He missed again. I do 1 more damage. I can take a hit. Now is he going to hit me for 3 damage right at the end? What a blow that would be. Oh, he does 1 damage. Oh my gosh, I'm lowering his health for some reason. I was dead. I was dead, guys. No, he does 1 damage. I'm down to 2. Okay. He's dead. I'm sorry. He does 1 damage to me, then I get to attack him. He's dead. Okay. Dark rats are dead. I gain 1 more favor. Perfect. I have 2 health, no food, no energy. I'm in real bad shape here. Real bad shape. Oh, you know what I could use right now is a potion. And here's a treasure chest. Or a turnip. I don't want to fight a monster. I'm willing to take a chance on this trap. So I'm going to resolve this card. And we got the kitchen. That was the better move. I would have had to have fought something. I don't want to fight anything. Oh my gosh. Well, that's it, folks. Trap. 2 health. I have been murdered on the very end of the 2nd level of the dungeon. And I have 2 shards. I was 1 shard away from victory. Normally victory occurs in all of my play tests. It typically happens on the 3rd level, sometimes the 2nd level, and I've definitely done it on the 4th level. It's very hard to get to the 5th level, but I've been there, but it's very difficult. So that is how Tin Helm plays. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will answer them. We got so close. I'm pretty excited. That was a pretty good playthrough. You got to see quite a few different things happen. And I hope that all your questions have been answered. But again, if you have anything any comments or questions, please leave them below and I will answer them. Thank you very much.